Good Saturday morning, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Saturday. Starting off, what is going on right now in terms of the entire state of South Carolina? Well, we look nice and dry. No rainfall at all going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina. But if we scroll our way out, see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we do in fact have some rainfall activity that's going on in areas like Virginia, Indianapolis, Illinois. These areas all receiving rainfall. Even some flash flooding going on in Indiana and Illinois. Some more rainfall in South Dakota down to Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, and then up into Washington State, Oregon, and Idaho. All receiving rainfall activity. Now, in terms of cloud cover, we are seeing some cloud cover, definitely not the most, but are seeing some from the upstate down all the way into the low country, and it's kind of just isolated here and there. Not really too bad right now. Not really too bad. Now, in terms of cloud cover for the future, again, just taking a look, I mean, just a nice overall um, day here to kind of just start off with this nice cloud cover. Now, but as we move later on into the day, 3 to 4 to even 5 o'clock p.m., even moving to around 6 p.m., look at this cloud cover from the upstate to the Midlands to the Low Country to the Grand Strand, upstate areas, and going all the way down towards the coastal areas, looking like that they could receive some pretty big cloud cover even as we move later on into tonight, into tomorrow morning. So cloud cover activity here, and it will get more aggressive. It will get more widespread as we move throughout the day today. Current temperatures right now, we're talking about 85 in Somerville, Charleston, Beaufort, 83 Hilton Head Island, and 85 in Augusta, 85 Orangeburg, and 86 in Georgetown, 86 Conway in Columbia, 85 Newbury, and 84 in Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, York, and 85 in Rock Hill and Lancaster. Air quality for today, it looks like that we are mainly staying inside of that moderate category from Spartanburg down to the I-385 corridor, I-26 from Florence down to the Tri-County area of Charleston, North Charleston, and then the CSRA towards that border with Georgia. So yes, we are seeing a lot of moderate kind of going on. So if you're in the yellow for today, make sure that you're paying attention for that air quality. But the thing that we should most be paying attention for is these high temperatures. High temperatures 96 in Greenville, 95 Lawrence, 95 Newbury, as well as 97 in Columbia, 96 Orangeburg, 97 in Moncks Corner, and even 94 in Georgetown, 91 Myrtle Beach, and 96 in Florence. Now, that's good for the high temperatures, but look at these heat index values. 110 in Columbia, 110 in Sumter, 112 in Charleston, even around 111 Georgetown, 109 Myrtle Beach, 111 Hilton Head Island. And look even up inside of the upstate. Spartanburg, 105, Greenville, 107, Anderson, 108. So this is one of the hottest days that we have seen so far as a collective state. Pretty much, I mean, in a long, like not in a in a long time. I mean, we may have seen something like this earlier on, but maybe for the year. I mean, I think so. I mean, 105 in Spartanburg, 107 in Greenville, 108 in Anderson. The upstate receiving almost close to 110 degrees for heat index values. That's like very, 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 very hot for those areas up there. And like I said, um, this will only really get worse. I mean, Sunday and especially Monday. Monday, I mean, I'm already looking at Mondays right now. Monday, it's not looking too great in terms of that heat, and it's going to be boiling hot on Monday. But we're talking about today, and as a collective, I mean, these next couple of days will definitely be the hottest days of the year. No questions asked. These next couple of days will be probably the hottest days that we've seen so far this year. And honestly, just looking at the map, I think that you should be able to agree with me on that. Now, in terms of winds for today, winds are not going to help out anybody. Winds are going to be calm. Winds are going to be almost non existent, if not non existent for some areas, just because it's very calm. The coastal areas could see of up to around 10 miles per hour, but that's literally it. And then wind gusts for today, around 5 to 10 miles per hour inland, maybe close to around 15 to 20 near the coastal areas. But again, you're not seeing much there. Rainfall wise, could see around 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch in areas like Greenville, Rock Hill, Anderson, going to Newbury, Columbia, Orangeburg, Moncks Corner, Walterboro, and then maybe even a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch in areas like Florence, Kingstree, Myrtle Beach, and then maybe even a quarter of an inch to a half an inch in Georgetown. So some areas may even see more than that, maybe a half an inch to an inch or so, like up there in the very, 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 very far upstate, right next to the South Carolina North Carolina state line. And so there also are a couple of areas that may not see rainfall at all today. That's definitely a possibility. Definitely is a possibility. Now, as we move over into the crazy score for today, it looks like that we're going to stay around the 14 points range right now out of 100. 10 on the alerts, 4 on the conditions, 14 as a total here. And so the reason why we're there, conditions, nice right now, so that's the reason why we're at a 4, but we have a heat advisory right now in effect for some areas. And so that's the reason why we're kind of there at that 10 mark. Now, what's going on in terms of the SPC outlook for today? Marginal risk of severe weather, isolated damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour is possible with some storms. Make sure you keep that in mind as we move into today, just because it could potentially, spread out from, the upstate all the way into the coastal area. So everybody should be watching for today. And then for excessive rainfall, isolated flash flooding is also possible for today. So watch out for isolated damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour and isolated flash flooding of up to, however much rainfall you could see. Let's go on now and take a look at the models. Time is at the bottom part of your screen. Please, 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 please make sure that you are paying attention because if you are not paying attention to the time at the bottom part of the screen, there's a good chance that you may not grab all that information that you need. So we're going to start off here, and with the time down here at the bottom around 9 a.m. This goes all the way out to around 9 p.m. So we're going to go back to the 12Z. And around 9 a.m. here, we push this forward. What do you see? Showers and storms starting to get going by around 1 to 2 p.m. Now we're seeing it start to kind of spread its wings as we get more into around 4 to 5 p.m. And all of these storms here have the potential to bring some isolated damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour and produce some isolated flash flooding. So as we push this even to around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., you can see all this shower, all this storm activity continue to push its way down towards the south by around 10 to 11, even at 12 o'clock in the morning. But again, this is an isolated threat. So this doesn't really look too organized, doesn't really look too much of, of it being together. It's really just being more than likely isolated. And so as we push this even to around, like I said, 12 o'clock in the morning and onward, things do start to calm down. Things do definitely start to calm down, but it's not going to be completely over until probably later on tonight past 12 a.m., according to the 12Z. Now, one thing I do like to look at in terms of in terms of excessive rainfall and also just severe weather in general, see, if these storms are producing lightning, and they definitely are, that's definitely not a concern. Definitely will produce some lightning. And then in terms of flash flooding, see the precipitable water values in the atmosphere, and you can see about 2 to 3 inches of rainfall inside of the atmosphere as we move into this evening here. So that, the moisture is there, and this could definitely produce some flash flooding. And then if we look at the 1 hour the 1 hour ratings here to see how much rainfall could fall in about an hour or so in some of these spots, I can see around 3/10 over here. I can see around close to an inch of rainfall, and you can definitely see some spots. What is this? Around an inch of rainfall. Some areas around 2 inches of rainfall per hour. And so you see these isolated spots, especially over here inside of the Grand Strand area, because remember, that's where kind of that 3-inch range was for our precipitable water values, and you see most of that rainfall is falling over here. So, over here inside the PD area could be the area where we see the majority of the rainfall. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens, and it would definitely provide some beneficial rainfall just because we have the drought over there. If we saw 3 inches of rainfall over in that red area, that would be great. Obviously, we're not wishing for flash flooding, but if we could see this much rainfall over here inside the eastern parts of the state in the Grand Strand, where they desperately need it probably the most, definitely we would appreciate that. And that's pretty much all I have to say here for today. So, I will be back tonight, hopefully at 8 o'clock p.m. for your Saturday evening forecast update. Make sure that you're here tomorrow morning as well for your Sunday morning forecast update. And we have a lot to talk about tonight. We have to talk about the heat. We have to talk about more severe weather, potentially more flash flooding on the horizon, potentially. And we're going to talk about the tropics as well. So we have a lot to cover tonight. Make sure that you're there, 8 o'clock p.m. Set a reminder, you know, set something on your phone to where if you forget to do it, something will happen. I don't know. Anything that will get you to get here at 8 o'clock p.m., make sure that you set it because we will be here. Again, I'll be back then. Hit those two buttons before you leave. We're at 823 subscribers, trying to get to that main goal of 900. Hit the like button and share. Share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, and people that you don't talk to regularly because it's free and it always will be. I'll be back tonight.